Ken Trahan along with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Well, the New Orleans Pelicans just concluded a 5-game road trip, went 2-3, losing a close game in Indiana to wrap up the road trip. The problem with that was the news that came out of the game, and that was Anthony Davis, having watched the game, got hurt in the third quarter, went down hard, and he'd already had a damaged hip per se from a previous game, came back, played, was playing well, team had a chance, went down hard, did not return, also hurt his thumb. X-rays were negative on both, so you would guess day to day, but that was a primary reason why they lost the game, Lenny. They had every shot down the stretch in the last 3 minutes, just couldn't score the basketball, and lost by 3.
Well, that and the way they played the first quarter. They dug themselves a big hole, got out of it, and could never get over the hump of that. They just kept climbing, tied the game, I think a couple of occasions, but could never get over the hump to put themselves in a position to win the game. But had 3 or 4 shots at the end to go to overtime or to win the game in regulation and couldn't make a shot. But you're right. The Davis news is concerning, and it's an ongoing thing. And you worry about the fragility of him. While, most cases he bounces back in a game or so, you have to be concerned with with this ongoing trend that he takes a hard fall and he's out. And one of these times it's going to be something that's going to be to an extreme, and like we saw at the end of last year when he was down for the last 20 games or so of the season last year.
I just got finished writing my midseason review on the Pelicans and talking about how this year he's been able to get on the floor. He'd only missed 4 games, 38 games out of 41 rather, to start the season in the first half. So now we'll see how this goes, because the most games he's ever played is 68 in his career. They need him, obviously, and now they get a long homestand, 6 games. And again, it starts off with a couple of teams in Orlando and Brooklyn that, frankly, they have to beat at home.
They do, because it's going to get extremely tough come next week, starting with the Cavs on Monday. So basically, you better get this one.
No doubt about it. We'll see how they're able to fare. College basketball front, Tulane played encouraging against SMU but lost. UNO still in position in the Southland Conference to have a chance to win the league. LSU, really not much to talk about, because if we talk about it, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, and especially if Antonio Blakeney is out, and he may be out for Wednesday night's game at Auburn, that's not a good thing, because they're not a terribly deep team and not a front-loaded team in terms of talent. He is clearly their best player, and if he is not available, Auburn's a winnable game for them. But if they don't have Blakeney, that makes it all the much more difficult for them to win.
Nothing new on the Saints front. You can expect some news to be forthcoming, though, in the very near future regarding hires, because clearly they've got to make some.
Yeah, and we'll see. I think you'll see a lot of movement. Of course, next week is Senior Bowl week, which not only for evaluating those seniors that are out there, but it basically turns into a de facto coaches convention with everyone from all of these staffs converging on Mobile, and you may see some movement. If not there, then in the immediate future right after that.
Drawing closer to National Recruiting Signing Day, and obviously a lot of movement where that's concerned. LSU gets a big Southern Lab commit, Tulane gets a commit, and obviously there's going to be a full-court press here in the next couple of weeks to really close fast on both fronts.
Yeah, and you don't have a huge number of guys that are sitting there uncommitted, at least among the top players. There's 2 or 3 key guys in Louisiana, but it's a matter of holding on to what you got, especially where LSU is concerned with some of the staff changes that they have made, and they've obviously done a solid job on that front, at least at this point. But yeah, you want those guys who are maybe sitting there on the fence or deciding between 2 or 3 people. Those guys choosing to go your way as opposed to another way can decide whether it's going to be a great class as opposed to a very good class, especially where LSU is concerned.
No question, and of course on the high school front, check SportsNOLA.com for a soccer report, basketball reports every day, and some big games in basketball detailed at SportsNOLA.com on Tuesday night. A couple of big district showdowns in 6-5A, Slidell and St. Paul's, both 4-0 in the league play and both really good. One is 15-4, the other 17-4, and of course in the New Orleans area at Conlin Gymnasium, it's Brother Martin and St. Augustine for the Catholic League lead. Brother Martin is undefeated in the league. St. Aug has 1 loss, and the Crusaders have won 9 straight, but the Purple Knights are the favorite in the league.
Should be a very interesting game indeed. And look, don't count John Curtis out either in that race as well, because that's 3 pretty good teams. And of course, unfortunately, we'll be talking about this ad nauseum in a month when we have 2 different sets of playoff brackets, 12 champions to be crowned on both the girls and the boys' side in basketball. But really any one of those three teams could claim the Division I title, along with St. Paul's as well from our area. And, of course, there'll be a lot of other teams in the area with chances to walk away with some hardware come March in Lake Charles.
And finally, the NFL championship games and conference play this weekend. A couple of good matchups. It's the established teams against the hot teams of sort. Atlanta would have been the second choice in the NFC. I said they were my favorite going in, and now they're positioned to win it at home. Green Bay was the hot team. And then in the AFC, New England the favorite, Pittsburgh the hot team. These are really good matchups.
Looking forward to Sunday. That should be some really good games. We'll talk more about them later this week, but it's, you're right. They give you a little bit of a contrast there. It'll be interesting to see how those games play out, and you can bet there's some networks out there pulling for certain Super Bowl matchups that will enhance their ratings in a couple of weeks.
Have a good week.
We'll see you later this week.
That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank. First NBC Bank is a proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. He's Lenny. I'm Kenny. Have a great week, and God bless you.